Hi. This is my output for our first summative in digital electronics 2. Um, so here we have my C code for my project. Um, It is the same code that was generated using the generate command from MPLab code configurator. Um, and then I based the code from experiment 2, which is input and output, which is digital input and output. uh, Here we simply have commands that will run while the button value is 0, or while the button is being pressed. Here it is simply turning off the last LED and then turning on the current one, and then having a delay of 200 milliseconds, and then going through the same process, turning off the past LED and then turning on the next LED, and then so on, which creates a pattern where the LED that is currently lit up is moving to the right. And when the button is not pressed, it just turns off all of the LEDs. Here we have all of the inputs and outputs. Here we have the input, which is the button, and then here we have the 5 LEDs. LED 1 and 2 are red LEDs. LED 3 and 4 are yellow, and LED 5 is green. System module, the clock is at 1 megahertz, and then it follows the same parameters as used in experiments 1 and 2. Here is the hardware for my summative assessment 1 for digital electronics 2. The power source is simply a USB cable that is going through a power bank, which supplies 5 volts, which means that I no longer need a regulator to achieve that 5 volts. So here we have the button, and then these two wires are going to VSS and VDD, and then here we have the 5 LEDs mentioned in the code. These two wires are simply connecting the two power rails, since I don't have any more space here. If we press the button, it should light up each of these LEDs one by one until it reaches here, and then it powers this off, and then repeats the cycle. It should work after we turn on the power bank. And it goes through that cycle every time we press the button. It doesn't stop as soon as we release the button, because it was coded that way. And if we hold it, if we hold the button, the cycle should just repeat itself. And when we released that button, it turned off all of the LEDs. The reason that it doesn't stop immediately is because if we look at the code, it has to go through all of those commands before realizing that the button is no longer pressed.